Hello and welcome to Shoot the Shit with Squeegee. I'm your host, the Squeegee of Justice. You may know me as a partner and mod at Trial TV Live, but tonight I'm coming to you with a side broadcast, a place where you get to know me a bit better and I get to know you. So join me and let's go shoot some shit. Hello and welcome. What's up, everybody? Thank you for joining us for our first episode of our side broadcast. I'm very excited to be bringing this to you, and I'm very happy that you joined me tonight. We have a great show for you tonight. Jules will be joining us. Notorious Jules, the Notorious Jules will be joining us. And we'll be talking about Sarah Boone and Ashley Benefield. So stick around for that. That'll be happening very soon. But first, we're going to do a check-in with the chat. So let me know you're out there. We already have some people commenting. Julie, one of our great mods, and Only Fan is here, welcoming them in. Hello. Let's see who else. Ada was first in chat. Yay, Ada. Thanks for being first in chat. Paula MC, thank you for joining us. Dwayne Harris says he can't stay. He stopped by to hit the like button, so thank you very much for that. Oh, who's this Trial TV Live? Oh, okay. I think I know that one. Shiraz, thank you. Thank you for saying hello, stopping in. Red Pen, thank you. Thank you for saying hello and being with us today. Let's see, who else? Lots of Red Pen and Julie. You guys are chatty tonight. I love it. That's great. Only Fan, thank you. QB Designs, hey. I'm so happy that you're with us tonight. Thank you. Toxic Orchard, thank you. Waves to all. There are some waves happening right now with Helene, that's for sure. I hope everybody's safe from that. We are going to be feeling some effects tomorrow, so we're hoping to stream if we have internet and power. We're hoping we'll be streaming. Margit Squeegee, nice. Afton Ford, thank you. Thank you for popping in and being here. Melissa Webb, thank you. Christine Fortunato, thank you for being here. Appreciate it. Tennis Girl 101, oh my goodness, haven't seen you in a long time. Awesome. Teresa T, thank you. Jules, don't forget to hit that like button. Love you, Jules. Let's see, everybody, we're settling in. Chat is settling. How is the audio? Audio okay? Everything's fine? Just let me know if the audio was cool. I think if it wasn't, you guys would be letting me know. All right, well, let's get to it. Jules is waiting patiently in the wings. Let's bring her on. Jules has some really great stuff to tell us about Ashley Benefield. So let's bring her on. Hey, Jules.
Hi, Chris. How are you?
I'm doing great. How are you?
Tired,
yeah. Hurricane prep?
No, just in general.
Yeah, I hear you. Well,
know,
thank you. Thank you for being here. I really appreciate it. It is my honor that you are here. This is our first broadcast. I am so happy that you are with us. I know you are going through what you're going through, and I really appreciate you taking the time. We have a lot coming up. We have Sarah Boone all next month. So
I know that's going to be interesting.
It will,
to say the least.
To say the least, yeah. I am ready. We will talk about it next week, but we have been in talks with certain people, and we will be ready. But we'll talk about that next week.
Yes,
we'll save that for next week.
Definitely be ready for sure.
Okay. Cool. So, do you want to start us off with Ashley? I know you have some good news. Not good news. We have some news to tell us.
No, yeah, there was a hearing last Monday on juror misconduct and to the motions to bring the jurors in for questioning, which I did attend. And the freaky thing is that when I first got to the courthouse, I got there really early. Mm-hmm. And as I'm walking down the hall, I could see there's just one other person there. It's going to just sit on the bench and wait till they unlock the doors to let you in. And I recognized the woman right away. And it was one of the jurors. And I was like, oh, I wonder what she's doing here. I didn't approach her. I didn't speak to her. I was not going down that road. They opened up the courtroom, and I went in, and I went where I normally sat during the trial, and she went to where the defense side, the prosecutor side was during the trial. Now, none of the attorneys were in the courtroom yet. So when they finally start coming in, well, Mr. Taylor goes to that side, and hey, Squid, nice to see you. And the prosecutors come over to my side. So they made a complete reversal. Well, I wasn't going to move because there was no way I wanted to sit anywhere near this juror because of what happened in the Maya case. I'm sure you are aware of that whole fiasco.
Yes, yes.
So I was not going to move over. I didn't want to.
That's where the Notorious came from, correct?
Exactly. That's how at first I was very upset with the name Notorious because Ethan Shapiro put that in his post-trial motions. And I will have to say, it was Kurt from Uncivil Law that it took a while, but he's the one who talked me into embracing Notorious. And I was like, well,
you wear it well.
And I did. So there you have it. But I wasn't going anywhere near this juror.
Okay.
And so the judge comes in, and what blew my mind, I was not expecting this at all. I was expecting, to hear the prosecution and the defense go at it over these motions that the defense filed. But Judge White said that he was going to hear the motion to, seal the jurors' records. And he called her up to the podium. And I almost fell out of my seat. She was very soft-spoken. I heard her, but it was she was very soft-spoken. I'm going to be honest with you. I did feel bad for her. Okay. Oh, and also too, I want to make it really, really clear. Court TV announced that this juror number 15, this is who was in the courtroom, that juror 15 was also being accused of the one of having the flip phone in the room.
Okay.
That is not true. They don't know who it was. Okay, what juror 15 was being accused of is lying on her jury questionnaire.
Okay.
That's what she was being accused of. The flip phone has nothing to do with, they don't know who supposedly the one that had the phone. Okay.
Okay.
So she's up there, and Judge White was very nice to her. He treated her with dignity and grace. She was pro se, and he said, I'm ready to hear you on your motion. And so she didn't say much. It was basically, well, I don't want my personal business out there, and I want the record sealed. And he said, well, what are the statutes that apply to your request? Well, what's the rule of law? She didn't have any.
Yeah.
She didn't cite any in her motion, and she didn't. And so, she said the reason why she wanted it sealed was because it was embarrassing and humiliating. I get that. I understand that. But
so this is a civilian, if you will, filing a motion on her own, showing up pro se, and then having to deal with the judge. And okay. All right.
Exactly.
So I'm on the same page. Okay.
Yes. So he said to her that he was denying her motion
Okay.
because there was she provided no legal reason why that he should grant the motion. However, he did say to her, if you want to refile your motion and cite some rule of law, I will be more than happy to, entertain the motion again.
Mm-hmm.
So she was not happy.
Mm-hmm.
You could tell by the expression on her face that she was very sad.
Mm-hmm.
And she went to go leave, but she didn't leave the courtroom. She went back and she sat where she was when she first came in. And Mr.
Wow.
Taylor, so then, and she was directly across from me. I mean, if we both turned around, we would look right into each other's eyes.
Wow.
And so, of course, none of that was shown on the stream that Court TV had provided much later.
Mm-hmm.
I guess because it was a juror and they didn't do it. But in any case,
They want to protect her,
Yes.
Yeah.
But the bad thing is that the judge called her by name.
Oh.
And it happened several times. And I really felt bad. I already saw the report. So, I mean, I knew what her name was.
Mm-hmm.
And also too, this particular juror is one of the jurors that I was saying during the trial. She wasn't a big note taker. She took notes, but she was not an avid note taker.
Okay.
In any case, so Judge White says to Mr. Taylor, to start his argument, and he gets up, and the first thing that Mr. Taylor says is he wants her removed from the courtroom.
Wow.
And now she wasn't outwardly sobbing, but she had tears, coming down her face. And I felt bad for her. She continued to sit there. And Mr. Taylor's reasoning was because the judge at first said, I can't make her leave. The courtroom is open to the public. She's part of the public. But Mr. Taylor's point was she may have to testify depending on what you rule in my motions. And I don't want her in here hearing my argument.
Good point.
And right. And the prosecution side, when Judge White asked them, they were like, basically it was like, well, she has a right to be here. They really didn't argue it either way. They were like, you go for it, Judge. And Judge White denied Mr. Taylor's request that juror number 15 leave the courtroom. So she was there for the entire hearing, which this hearing was only supposed to be 45 minutes and it went 2 hours.
Wow.
Yeah. That was something.
Wow. Now, were you the only one in the courtroom too? Did I hear you say that when we talked earlier or no?
It was me, juror 15.
Okay.
And 3 other people that I recognized from the trial, which were supporters of Ashley. The one woman was there every day of the trial. This couple, they were not there every day, but they did make quite a few appearances during the trial.
Okay.
And that was it.
Okay.
There was no one else there.
How about outside? Did you see any supporters outside? No.
None.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
None.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Wow.
And I was surprised that even and Ashley was not there. She waived her appearance to be there.
Okay.
So she was not there. And then on Zoom it was Doug Benefield's cousin Tommy, his brother Bill, and his daughter Eva were on on a Zoom.
Mhm.
But they did not speak during the hearing.
Mhm.
So Mr. Taylor started off his argument in regards to juror number 15. And apparently, it is true, it's not apparent, it is a fact, because I read the documents myself. She was a victim of DV and she was a perpetrator of DV. So there are several complaints her ex-husband made against her, and several complaints on different dates that, she had made against him. They were, appeared in court several times. There was a custody issue as well.
Mhm.
They were fighting over the custody of their son. I believe it was a boy. And also her son was in a bar fight. Also, her son was accused of DV. I'm not sure if he was married to the girl or what, but there was that issue as well.
Wait,
And Mr.
whose son? Let me just
Juror
back.
15 son.
Oh,
Juror 15 son.
okay. Gotcha. Thank you.
So she was involved in DV. She was a victim and a perpetrator.
Mhm.
Her ex-husband claimed to be a victim and a perpetrator.
Mhm.
And then her son has been accused of being a perpetrator. And
Wow.
there also was a custody battle between her and her ex-husband over a child. I don't know if it's the same son that later got arrested for a bar fight. I don't know if it's the same one or not.
Sure. Wow.
So she didn't disclose it on the juror questionnaire. Any of these things that I've just told you, she
Right.
didn't disclose it.
Mhm.
So that was one of Mr. Taylor's arguments, and the prosecution argued back as saying that sometimes victims don't know that they're victims.
Mhm.
I found that weird, but okay, maybe I could buy it, but a perpetrator knows that they're a perpetrator, right?
One
I
would
mean,
think.
so I mean, I did not get I'm still trying to get a copy of the jury questionnaire
Yeah.
to see exactly what questions were on there.
Yeah.
But obviously I've had a lot going on, so I haven't done it. But
Sure. Well, maybe we can pick up on that. Maybe we can either pick up on that, or we have a great chat. We have great researchers in our chat. So chat, pick up on that.
We would like a copy of the actual jury questionnaire to see what those questions were.
Exactly.
And the prosecutor argued the part that, like I said, she said, well, maybe they didn't know, some people don't know that they're, an actual victim. And then there was the question of the paddles being raised when they were asking specific questions like, have you ever been arrested, or have you ever raise your paddles? And then apparently, they would further question it. Well, they argued back and forth over juror 15. Then Mr. Taylor moved on to the hoodie guy.
Oh, yes. Here's where it gets interesting.
I don't know who the hoodie guy is, but
so when you were there during the trial, you did not see the hoodie guy, or you never saw him? Okay, so who
if
is?
Anybody had a hoodie, it was me. I was freezing, but no. So this is what happened. Hoodie guy apparently was in the law and crime chat. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
During verdict watch.
Mm-hmm.
And Hoodie guy was OnlyFans says Hoodie guy sounds anonymous. I know. But what do you call it? So he
But he
was
was
chatting.
non-existent. I'm sorry, he was non-existent apparently, right? You didn't see him.
No, there was no.
Yeah.
But he was in the chat
Okay.
in the law and crime chat.
Mm-hmm.
And he was posting in there saying that his sister is on the jury.
Okay.
And that his sister snuck a flip phone in there with her.
Mm-hmm.
And that his sister messaged him and said that they were deadlocked at 5-1 and reference, but we'll get this guy to turn it around. Now, I got to tell you, Chris, there was only one guy on the jury.
Okay.
No one would know that.
Right.
Unless they were in the courtroom.
Right.
No one would know that.
Right. Unless it was kind of that innocuous when people say, hey, you guys, and it's both female and male. But that's very suspicious that he said that one guy or that guy.
Yeah.
I hear
he
you.
said that we'll get that guy to turn around. So right. And so he was, and then supposedly he was in the law and crime chat, and he said, "There's a verdict. A verdict is coming."
Mm-hmm.
And it wasn't until 5 or 10 minutes or so after he put that message in law and crime did the judge come out and say, "There's a verdict."
Mm-hmm.
So Mr. Taylor says, someone in that jury, if we're to believe this, and he stated that he got in touch with law and crime, the law and crime people. Mm-hmm. They immediately had taken their live chat down.
Okay.
And they would not cooperate with Mr. Taylor. That was weird. Mm-hmm. But in any case, so he said, though, that I have screenshots of the chat where it shows. So now the prosecutor is looking at these screenshots, and her argument was, well, there's no timestamp on this thing and da-da-da. Mm-hmm. And Mr. Taylor's like, oh, yeah, there is. Mm-hmm. And she's like, show me where. And she walked across and he points and you could hear her go, oh.
No. Yeah.
And, but she was like, her argument to the judge is, this is a random person. We don't even know if this person exists, blah, blah, blah. Mm-hmm. They went back and forth. So also, Mr. Taylor had a witness that was going to testify at that hearing that was on Zoom, but the judge wouldn't allow this witness to testify. As it turned out, the person that Mr. Taylor had that was ready to testify was the person that was in the law and crime chat that saw this going on in real time and was taking screenshots of it in real time.
Yeah, that was going to be my question. Sorry to interrupt. That was going to be my question. How did Mr. Taylor get those screenshots? But there you go. Yep.
That's how it was. And it's time-stamped. And that's what he was referring to when she said, there's no timestamps. And he's like, yes, there is.
Yeah, there are. Yep.
And, and so, but Judge White didn't need to have that person testify because it was pretty much there in black and white. Right, Bottom line is that Judge White agreed to have the jurors come in for an interview, which is going to be on October 4th.
Oh, okay.
It's going to be in camera, which means it's not going to be in the courtroom. So there will be no feed. There will be nothing on it. Okay. but and they all have been served because I did check. So
Mhm.
the court orders went out to all 6 of them.
Okay.
Also, juror number 15. Oh, that was the other thing too. At the end of the hearing, the judge offered. Uh, he spoke to both the prosecution and the defense attorneys about the issue with juror 15 because this is serious.
Mhm. Yeah,
This is very, very serious.
sure.
So Judge White said to Mr. Taylor, how would you feel if if I offer her a court appointed lawyer if she cannot afford to get
Mhm.
an attorney on her own?
Mhm.
And Mr. Taylor, he kind of stymied me for a moment. He got up and he agreed she needs a lawyer. But
Yeah.
he threw in there, which I don't understand why he did this. He threw in there, if she was my client, I would have her plead the fifth.
Hmm.
I'm sitting in court, like scratching my head, like, why are you saying this in front? She's sitting here,
Right.
But in any case,
He-
that's what he did.
He's like giving her
So
advice on the side.
yeah,
You
yeah.
know.
And you don't want her pleading the fifth when she gets in front of the judge privately to answer to why she didn't tell the truth on these questions.
Right.
So that was the end. She does have a lawyer.
Hmm.
So because I saw that her lawyer uh, filed with the court that he is her attorney.
Okay.
So she has legal representation now, and we'll see what
Yeah.
happens.
Good for her. So now this hearing on the 4th, when the jurors are coming in, let's talk about that. What exactly is that going to entail?
Well, all 6 jurors will report to the jury room where they initially reported during the trial, and then all 6 of them will be separated.
Okay.
They'll be separated into different jury rooms, etc. And then one by one, they will be brought into the judge's chambers, and the
Mhm.
judge will ask the questions. Now, the questions will be submitted by both the defense and the prosecution. But
Okay.
Judge White made it very clear that there may be some questions he's just not going to ask, but he welcomed all the, send me the questions
Mhm.
and I'll go over them. And then, he'll decide what ones he's going to ask each individual juror. And then he will let the defense and the prosecution know
Mhm.
what happened, and
Mhm.
that if they have follow-up questions, he will entertain doing follow-up questions, but each one will be interviewed privately in the judge's chambers.
Okay. All right. Now, what percentage do you feel that this will go for or against the verdict? Let's talk about that. Do you think that this will send it into dismissal, another trial? Like, what's your feeling?
Look, I know it happened in the Alex Murdaugh case. He's definitely going to get a new trial.
Yeah.
I don't know if, okay, we know juror 15 lied,
Yeah.
but that's one juror. The
Right.
whole hoodie guy thing and all of that,
Hmm.
that's going to be a hard one to prove
Yeah.
about that. If that was true and somebody was messaging their brother from the deliberation room, I would say for sure, absolutely. I don't think that there's anything that they can prove there. I don't think not one of those women, because we know it's not the male juror, because according to Hoodie Guy, it was his sister.
Hmm. Right.
So we know it's a female. I don't think they would admit to that. Although everybody's going to be like, one of the questions will be, did you see someone with a phone?
Mm-hmm.
Did you hear someone talking on a phone?
Mm-hmm.
When someone was in the restroom, did you hear them on, those type of questions? But still, I don't think the hoodie guy is going to go anywhere.
Right.
I don't.
And you were there in
You're
the courtroom. Sorry, you were there in the courtroom and you did not see anybody with a hoodie. So how are they going to prove that there was a person with a hoodie in there?
I don't know.
I guess look back at the feed and see if there's somebody that they can find, or like how. Yeah, that to me seems like that's going to be difficult to prove, to bring that to a conclusion.
I do not think, unfortunately, I do not think that this is going to change anything for Ashley.
Okay.
I think that Judge White is doing his due diligence to preserve the record. That's how I feel.
Sure. Yeah, there's enough going on there that he has to explore this, bring it to light, make sure there's nothing hiding there. I agree with that. I think this is the right move. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's the 4th. That's October 4th. That's going to happen. All right.
Yeah, and he's got 2 hours scheduled, 8:30 through 10:30 to get that done. But like I said, none of that's going to be. We're going to have to keep, after the 4th, we're going to have to keep checking the court docket to see what ruling he files. But I don't think it's. I don't think he's going to say, okay, mistrial. I don't think that's going to happen.
Okay. Yeah, 1 out of 6 with that one juror you were talking about. Not the hoodie guy, obviously, but the other juror. Yeah, that 1 out of 6, though, that could be something. But you're feeling no. You're feeling that he's just doing his due diligence, and it's going to go nowhere after that. Yeah. Okay.
That's what honestly, that's what I think. With Alex Murdoch in South Carolina, it was all the jurors.
Yeah, that was pretty blatant. That was Miss Becky. That was pretty blatant.
Yeah, and it was, so that's like a whole different ball game.
Yeah.
The sad part about it is, if you compare this to the Karen Reed case, Judge White, just based on what I just told everybody, is bringing those jurors in.
Right.
Judge Bev wouldn't even entertain the idea, even after these jurors came out and said, no, we voted to acquit.
I know. Completely. Yeah. It's unbelievable what's going on up there. Aaron and I talk about this a lot. If I was one of those jurors on that, I would get everybody together and I would go scream at the top of the mountain. This is what we want. This was our decision. Go to every news station, whoever would have me on, and I'd be like, this was my decision. What is going on? What does my voice not count? What is going on? That's what I kind of feel is going on up there. They went through this whole process, and now Judge Bev is just saying, yep, nope, we're just going to throw that to the side and continue on. And now they have a special prosecutor, so they're throwing more money at the situation. So all right, well, anything else about Ashley before we move on to Ms. Boone? Do you have anything you want to wrap up?
So after court, I caught up to Mr. Taylor and his team.
Yes. Okay. Yes. This is what we were waiting for. How could I forget this?
I caught up to Mr. Taylor and his team.
Okay.
One of the things that I will say is, I said to him, I didn't think you were going to win that one. Because I didn't. I didn't think, because Judge White was pretty tough during the trial. So I honestly did not think that he was going to grant that motion. But when I said to him, I said, I didn't think you were gonna win that. And he looked at me, he goes, neither did I.
Nice.
So yeah, he said neither did he. And He remembered that I was in the courtroom every day during the trial, and he brought up attorney Melanie Little. Now, just so you all know, and you all should have known this even from the Maya trial, these lawyers monitor whoever's covering their trial. They're checking the chat and they're checking to see, who's critiquing them and how they're being critiqued. He brought up Melanie Little.
Okay.
Which my shirt, by the way, is courtesy
Melanie Little. Nice.
Team Maya.
There you go.
So I was like, yes. And he said, I know that, you were on there. And I was like, yes. And I said, I was calling into Recovery Addict and Ada K and Melanie Little. And so he said, I would like for you to give a message to Melanie for me. And I was like, okay. And he wanted Melanie to know that he appreciated her coverage of the trial and her commentary of the trial, that he thought that she was very fair and balanced in the way she reported on the trial and her critiquing. Okay. So I told him that I would definitely give her that message, which I did. I gave that message to her on Monday. Okay. And so then we were talking about the prosecutor saying to Judge White that, listen, this is when she was objecting to everything. And she was like, listen, every time the jurors came back, from breaks and lunch and in the morning, you always asked, was there ever an issue? It was always no, nothing ever happened. And I said, do I have it here with me? No, it's in my other notebook. I should go get my other notebook. You could actually see in my notepad while I was in court, I was trying to write a note to Mr. Taylor's paralegal when she was saying that, because that was a bold-faced lie. And I brought that up to Mr. Taylor outside of court.
Wow.
And he looked at me and I was like, oh my God, you don't remember the deli incident? And he looked at me. The first word he said to me was, wait, was that you that went up to the judge's chambers? And I was like, no, that wasn't me. I said, but it was me that was in the deli when it happened. And I said, I was trying to write you a note, but you were on the other side of the aisle and I didn't want to cross over. I didn't want to stand up in court and cross over. I said, but I wanted you to remind her that when they came back from lunch and the judge said, have you been exposed, this, that, and the other.
Right.
No one raised their hands or anything. And it wasn't until the afternoon break and that the judge came out and said a reporter went up to his chambers to say that that a male juror was, at the deli and blah, 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 blah. Now, this part I did do. I did go to the deputy and I told the deputy that because the prosecution team, of course, was like, we don't know if that's true. And he goes, well, I'm going to bring them in to ask. And he was asking everyone. And then I knew which juror it was. It was not one of the seating jurors. It turned out he was an alternate, but I knew which one it was. And so I was waiting for his answer, and his answer was very different compared to what actually took place in the deli. No. All he said was, I was in the deli and they were talking about it. And I told him that I'm on the jury and I can't hear this. Just make my lunch to go. And I paid for it and left. That wasn't what happened.
Okay.
I was in the deli with the law and crime folks and the the reporter from the Sarasota Herald Tribune. All right. We were having lunch. He was in there and he was getting his lunch order, and there was a big screen TV and the trial was on.
Mm-hmm.
And he did say to the cashier, "You need to turn that off." And he wasn't quiet about it either. "You need to turn that off. I am on that jury and I cannot be watching this. You need to turn it off." And he carried on. It was a bit too boisterous and too long because the kid didn't know what he was talking about. Like, she was looking at him and she was looking at the TV screen like, what is he talking about?
Mm-hmm.
None of us said anything. So
Mm-hmm.
she's like, "Oh, you know," the owner came over and said, "No problem," and turned the TV off.
Mm-hmm.
And he got his lunch, he paid for it, and he exited. And then that's when we all were talking, and the girl, the worker, was complaining like, "He was so nasty about it. How was I supposed to know?" And this was a main topic of conversation.
Sure.
But he downplayed it when Judge White asked him. So I went over to the deputy and I said, "Listen, I don't know if this is important or not, but I was in the deli. Law and Crime was in the deli. Herald Tribune was in the deli. Sarasota Herald," right? And he's like, "Oh, really? Oh, okay. Well, okay." I said, "But listen, I don't want to go up there and say anything to the judge."
Right.
"Oh, no problem." So if you saw that part of the trial, you'll see where the deputy goes right up to the judge's bench, leans over, judges like this. He's telling him, and he's like, "Oh, okay." And then Judge White announced, "Well, there was a witness in the deli who confirms that the TV was turned off." That's all he said.
Okay.
And that was the end of that. But I said, "She lied when she said nothing like that happened." So he goes, "I did forget about that."
Do you remember what day that was roughly? Do you remember that? Because we'll go back and try and find that.
It'll be in my notes.
Okay. All right.
I'll get it in my notes and I'll text it to you.
Okay.
And
We'll put it in the description or something. Yeah. So,
okay.
So you mentioned the alternate. That was the alternate, right? The alternate jury.
Yeah. He didn't deliberate on the jury.
The reason I bring that up, so that was 2 males then? I'm trying to get the sense of the makeup.
Oh, yeah, there was 7 women and 9 women and 3 men.
Okay.
But only 6 were going to deliberate, which it turned out to be 5 women and 1 man.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. So they had 12 altogether. They whittled it down to the 6. Gotcha.
Yeah. Yeah. In civil trials, they do 6. Even in some criminal trials, they'll do 6 here in Florida. Well, but it depends on what the charge is. Like, premeditated first-degree murder, they're going to have 12 for sure.
Yeah, sure.
But other Curtis Reeves only had 6. So, and no, he had more than 6. Who am I thinking of? Who had? I can't remember. In any case,
it doesn't matter. Yeah.
So we were talking about that, and then I asked him how Ashley was doing, and he gave the standard answer. I knew I wasn't going to get anything, spectacular out of him. He gave the standard. She's doing as well as could be expected under the circumstances.
Sure.
So I said to him, "Is she aware, that she does have a lot of support out there?" And he goes, "Yes, she is. She's very much aware of it." And I said, "Well, Mr. Taylor," I said, "I have had people approach me and ask me, what they can do to help her, if there's anything that they can do."
Okay.
I said, "Then I don't know what to tell them. Is there anything that the public can do?" And there is. So all of our people in the chat, I'm not telling you to do this, but if you feel that Ashley was a victim of DV and, this was truly self-defense, if you feel that way and you feel that, she shouldn't be where she is, or she shouldn't get the maximum sentence on October 22nd, there is something you can do if you so choose. And you could write a letter to Judge White, especially if you have been a victim of DV.
Mhm.
Or are a victim of DV, and if you are currently and you haven't told anyone or you're not seeking out help, a letter just may be therapeutic for you.
Yeah.
But in any case, if you fall into this category and you would like to write a letter on Ashley Benefield's behalf, you can do so. And if you guys, do you mind, Chris, if I give the information?
We'll put it in the
Okay.
description as well, but yeah, go ahead.
And the address is, it's Manatee County Courthouse, 1115 Manatee Avenue West, Bradenton, Florida, 34205. And then on the bottom corner of your envelope, you can put attention Judge White, and it's spelled WHYTE. Ninth floor criminal court in the corner. And it will go to him. Thank you, Julie. You're good.
Do we get it?
In there. And that's it.
Did Julie put it up there? Oh, there
That
it
is
is.
it.
Julie, you are the
Yeah.
best. Okay. I'll still put it in the description for people. Yeah, that's awesome.
And if you can get it in there by the 15th, because her sentencing is October 22nd. So the judge has got, oh, and also just so you know, too, if you do decide to write a letter on Ashley's behalf, just be aware that it might become public record. I haven't seen letters when it comes to sentencing. I haven't seen letters be put on the docket, but you never know. So, I just want to let you know it could.
Sure. Can you put in
Probably
there?
not. Could.
Can you put in the letter, please don't, please make this anonymous, or I'm just, voicing my opinion. I don't necessarily want to be my name out there or on the record, or no? What? Yeah. Okay.
Well, because it kind of looks, nah.
Yeah. Okay. All right. I don't know how those things work. So.
Yeah, no.
Okay. And is the address?
If you're experienced DV, you can put, listen, I've experienced it. I've been where she was, or, you can make it more personalized. And this is why I feel that she should not be sentenced the maximum. Sure. Because I think sentencing on the 22nd is definitely going to go forward.
Okay. And Jules, do we have the address right? Does that look right? Do we get the whole thing?
Sure.
Okay. Because you said 9th floor or something, right? Or
I'm sorry?
I thought you said there was a 9th floor in there. Is there a floor?
On the bottom in the corner, put attention Judge White.
Okay.
9th floor criminal.
Okay. Okay. All right. So we'll put that in the description. All right, cool. All right. Awesome. Do we want to answer some questions, or you want to go through some questions now? Chat. I'll go over to my producer. I got a thumbs up. What's up with the chat here? I see Sneaky Side. Thank you, Sneaky. And the judge's name, yes, the judge is WHYTE, right?
Correct.
Yeah. Let's see. Do we have any questions for Jules or myself regarding Ashley Benefield before we move on to Miss Boone? Did I miss any? Everybody's just saying hello, which is awesome.
Hey. Bye.
All right, cool. So any particular questions, chat, or else we're going to move on to Sarah Boone next. Yes, Looney Boone. Oh, the big question. Yeah, Deborah, is Looney Boone going to have her interrogation thrown out? That's the big one. She's asking for that. Now, before we start, storm coming through. Helene is about to hit us tomorrow. You probably earlier than us, of course. And
I had one band at 2:30 this afternoon and then nothing.
yeah, we had one go through. I actually posted a short. Oh, Jules, you look particularly lovely.
Thank you, sneaky side.
Yes. So the big news, I guess today or whenever, I guess it was today, that Sarah's hearing tomorrow was shifted to Friday because of the storm. So,
and they're doing it by Zoom.
And they're doing it by Zoom. So will it be streamed still, do you think?
Well, I pulled it up. Usually,
let's see.
Over on this side of the coast, usually they include the link in the order.
Okay.
I didn't see it, so I don't know. We may have to check Friday morning and pull it up and see.
Right. See what the deal is. Yeah, it's at 2 p.m. 27th at 2 p.m. So chat, we will keep our eyes out. Yeah, we'll keep our eyes out for that. We'll stream it or grab it. The last couple hearings with her through Zoom have been the audio alert galore because I don't know what's going on with their Zooms, but the last two have been particularly brutal. So if this is strictly all Zoom, it's
not going to be. I don't think Mr. Owens has a prayer in the world getting the interrogation thrown out. Do you?
No, I don't think so either. I mean, why would they throw that out? That's like, they're going to compare that to when, she was first being talked to, being arrested. She's changed her story so many times. Yeah, I don't think they're going to.
Don't forget, there was one time where she went down there on her own to retrieve her phone.
Mm-hmm.
So she was like, there you are. Here I am. So no, he doesn't have a prayer in the world on that. Yeah. What's your take? Well, first off, did you read the charging document?
No, I haven't. So I need to.
Shame on you.
I know I'm not prepared.
You knew we were going to be talking Sarah Boone and you didn't read the charging document?
No.
Okay.
I could pull it up though, maybe quickly. All right, give me the highlights. Give me the cliff notes. That's why you're here, Jules. I'm just asking questions. You're providing the answers.
Well, the highlight in the charging document for me was, and I just want this explained, and I guess when you and I are in court, we will get this answered.
Yes.
In one and in the charging document, they were very specific to point this out in the charging document. And I never noticed it until I read it in the charging document and then went back and looked at her cell phone videos because there's two. Okay. All right. The first one, and it's in the charging document, the suitcase is right side up. So the zipper part is up.
Yes.
In the second one,
it's flipped.
Yes.
Yep. So we all think that it happened at the top of the stairs and she kicked him down. That's what the neighbor was saying. There was this tremendous noise because they abutted. And poor Jorge,
Here's the thing, Chris.
Yeah. What?
Go back and look at the video. Okay. Both videos, the suitcase is in the same place.
Mm-hmm. Oh.
To me, it appears to be in the same room.
Okay. I gotta revisit that. I just remember it upside down and him saying, Sarah. That's the one that sticks. Yeah.
I'm wondering.
Do you want to watch it? Sure. Yeah. Do you want to watch it real quick? We could watch it.
Yeah, do it.
My producer over there is going to pull it up.
Good, Aaron. I'm mad at her anyway.
All right. So, okay, that's clearly upside down. Okay. Yeah, just bear with us for a moment. Okay, so clearly that's the one that sticks in my mind.
Because that's where he's begging her.
Yes, yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, this is just, yeah.
Chris, we're gonna have to hear this.
For everything you've done to me.
Yeah.
Fuck you.
Sarah,
Fuck you.
Sarah,
We're not quite past an hour through it.
Sarah,
Poor thing.
That's my name. Don't wear it up.
Sarah. I can't fucking breathe, dude. Seriously,
Yeah, that's when you do when you choke me.
Sarah.
Hmm.
Sarah. Sarah. Sarah, I can't breathe, dude.
And then the
That's
laugh.
on you.
Oof.
Sarah, I can't breathe.
It's on you.
Sarah.
Real ransom. Might want to get video for it extra. Because I got this.
Sarah.
Real ransom.
Sarah. Sarah, I can't breathe, dude.
Oh. That's what I feel like when you ching on me.
Sarah. I
Fuck
can't
you.
fucking breathe, Sarah.
Yeah. You should probably shut the fuck up.
Sarah.
Shh.
Okay, so it has moved. And that's, so you think this was first and then flipped as second?
Because look at where his flip-flops are.
Yeah.
His flip-flops are there
We rewind.
next to the suitcase. And in the other one, his flip-flops are by her.
Yeah. All right, let's
It's the same room.
yeah. Oh no, I totally see that. I totally agree with you on that one. Yeah.
And I think what she did was when she had enough, I think she flipped him over.
Yeah.
Because I think he was trying to undo the zipper
Right.
and she flipped him over. That's what I think.
It makes
to
sense
prevent
that
him from getting out.
yeah, it does make sense that he would start out like that. Because again, if you're playing hide and seek and you climb into a suitcase isn't going to be upside down. Oh, Frankie is in. Frankie's made it. Everybody say hello to Frankie. Yeah, I mean, it totally makes sense. If you're playing hide and seek, suitcase is going to be like that, not flipped over. So that makes sense. So that's the first one. And if you wouldn't mind just rewinding. Yeah. Okay. And then
And see, look right down there. You see the flip flops?
yep, I see them right there. And they're right
Look
side
at
up.
those flip flops.
Yep. And they're right side up. The other one where the luggage is, yeah, see now the, excuse me, the flip flop. Oh, well, yeah, I thought they were upside down, but they're not. So you think those are his flip flops or hers?
They look awfully big. I think they're his.
Yeah, they look like
They
his.
look like flip flops a guy would wear. I
Oh,
wouldn't wear them.
so check it out. So he took off his flip flops, got into the suitcase, and then she flipped him over and took his flip flops and all that stuff. Wow. We're still trying to wrap our head around how did he get into the suitcase? You know, I mean, what goes through your mind playing whatever games you're playing? Obviously, they're drinking. We get that. But just physically, I mean, mentally, that's one thing. But physically, how do you get yourself into a suitcase? You know?
I don't know, dude. I mean, I wouldn't.
Yeah.
Look, with my history with my ex, if he ever asked me to get into a suitcase, I'd be F you. No way. Because I know I wouldn't make it out.
Yeah.
No.
Well, that brings us
I
to
don't know.
Jules, that brings us to a good point. One theory we're kind of kicking around, I think we've talked about this before, is that they had a very toxic relationship, as we all know. Multiple, police calls on each other, arrests, the whole 9 yards. I'm saying it now. It may change once I sit through the trial, but I think somebody was going to be unalived that night. And if she had let him out, he would have been like, well, he would have probably, done some things. We're not sure how far it would have gone, but I think he would have been like, that's my personal opinion. What do you think?
Know.
What do you think? You think he would have she would have let him out? He would have been like, hey, cool, let's have another bottle of wine? Or you think he would have been like, what do you think?
Well, if you were let me throw this back at you. If I put you in a suitcase and had you begging for your life and then let you out, would you not be pissed off?
Yes, I would be. That's my point. That's my point. I think somebody would have been gone one way or the other, or knocked around. Somebody was going to be knocked around if he had been gotten out. That's my personal take. And I'm only saying that based on their history, just based on their history, and they were so so gone. What did Sarah say? Well, we only had one bottle. Yeah, by 9 o'clock in the morning, you were probably on your 10th bottle.
She was wasted. You can tell she was wasted. She was slurring her words.
Yeah, we watch a lot of body cam. Go ahead. I was gonna say we watch a lot of body cam, and they're like, "How much did you drink?" "Oh, I only had one drink." Times 10. Whenever anybody says I had one drink, multiply it by 5 or 10. So yeah, they were, and their history, as we all know, their history was, by 9 o'clock they were stumbling drunk. So they were right. They were toxic to begin with. So it's a shame. Somebody obviously passed, and it was George or Jorge, however we want to say it. But yeah, he's for all his faults, he certainly was no angel. But Aaron found some. He was an amazing artist. I don't know if our chat knew that. Did you know that?
No, I did not know that. You
graphic artist. Yeah, he was a really good graphic artist. I think on his Facebook page, we're putting together a video, and we're not. How do I say this? We're not highlighting him or putting him in any kind of light. We're just showing his side of it, if you will. Like we have her, talking and her arrests and Brian's, but we're also throwing in George's pictures of him, his artwork. He's seemed like again, he seemed like kind of a cool dude, but he also had a streak in him, that kind of thing.
But so did she. And don't be a bit surprised when we're in court that her ex-husband, Brian Boone, isn't going to be testifying against her as to prior DV that she committed towards him.
Oh, him. Oh, I didn't hear you know that? You heard that? Or I'm just basing it on his interviews.
I heard it.
Okay.
I heard it. And I did, going through the court documents, I did see where they did take a deposition.
Okay.
Of Brian Boone.
Okay. He's definitely testifying, I think. I mean, how can he not? He was there. We saw the police interviews, I can't imagine he wouldn't be called to the witness stand. What about the child? Do you think they'll pull to? Probably not, right? Yeah. Okay.
No, he wasn't there that night.
Right.
He was with Dad that night. She was supposed to get him the next morning.
Right.
I just found it really odd that instead of calling 911, you called your ex-husband.
Yep.
And said, I read in the report, it says that she called him and told him that George was dead.
Yes.
You need to come over.
Yes.
I found him dead. And when he walked in, the report, the statement that the ex-husband made was he walked into the house, saw George on the floor. Clearly he was dead. he looked at her and said, "You need to call 911." And he walked out of the house and stayed outside, waited for the cops to come. And he said the reason why he did that was because he knew he was dead and he wasn't going to have anything to do with that whole thing.
Agreed. Yeah, that jives with his statement to the his interview, if you will. That day of, when the police are there, that's what he said. He said, "I walked in, or she called me. I came over," because I think they live pretty close, maybe a mile or two away from each other. They're pretty close to each other. So he came over. Yeah, I think she even walked at one point months ago. She walked to his house. That's how close they are. But anyway, yeah, he came over, and this was his statement to the police. He came over, saw George, walked out, said, "You need to call 911," and stayed out because he knew what it was, and he knew the history between those two. So, yeah.
And plus, he had his own history with her.
Sure.
So,
Yeah.
So I think we're going to get to meet Brian Boone.
Maybe at the deli. We can have a meatball.
And I think that's good. You and Aaron are going to put something together for George. I mean, after all, we all got to see the video you put together of good old Sarah Boone when she was 15 on Nickelodeon. So
wasn't that incredible? My gosh. Yeah. And thanks to Dizzy, I'm not sure she's in the chat, but Dizzy kind of got us there, but Aaron was the one that found it for sure. And amazing. Oh yeah, what's it? Donna Adelson was on Wheel of Fortune. Who else? Lori Vallow was on Wheel of Fortune, right? I think Wheel of Fortune. Now Sarah on Nickelodeon. I want to do something with that.
There was a guy who was on Jeopardy too.
Okay.
I'm going to have to research. Yeah. And then there was one that was on, what was the one with Chuck Woolery? I'm really dating myself now.
Yeah, I know the name. Not the Newlywed.
It was a dating show. He was also charged with murder.
Newlywed Game. I remember his name. He kind of had fuzzy hair, sort of short guy, maybe. I kind of remember.
Chuck Woolery.
He
used to do the infomercials on that with that fishing thing, the small little fishing.
No, that I don't remember.
I'm old.
Must be a Jersey thing.
No, I'm old. You just don't remember. Julie said she's 66. Well, guess what? I'm older than you. So fair.
Do we have any questions about Sarah Boone? Anybody? Anything going? The dating game, Deborah. Was it the dating game?
No, I think it's what QB Design said. It's Love Connection.
Yeah, Melissa and QB, Love Connection. I do remember that. Yeah, but I was a wee little tyke back then. Just kidding.
Of course.
All right, Sneaky. Sneaky. Do you think it pisses off? Do we say George or Jorge? What do we?
Well, in Spanish it's Jorge, but he went by George, and
his
Jorge
mom
is George is in English. So
of course, and his mom says Jorge. So I'm gonna I'll say it either way. All right, I'm sorry, Sneaky. Do you think it pisses off George's family that Sarah pronounces his name like a white girl? Oh, like what I just did? George instead of Jorge? I should have read that before. I should have read that silently before.
I would imagine everything Sarah did pisses George's family off.
Yeah. Well, didn't she say that they immediately? She was talking to the police right after it happened. She's like, the family's going to know it was me. They're going to hate me. They're going to come after me. Right? Do you remember that statement? Mm-hmm. So she knew immediately that they were coming for her. So that just shows you where their relationship was, Okay, Christine, are you going to trail Chris of Sarah? Oh, are you going to
go to trial?
Am I going? Yeah. Yes, we both are. Yes, we will have absolutely much more news about that next Wednesday because Jules, I can tease it now. Jules, you will be joining me next Wednesday as well for a deeper dive into Sarah Boone, as if we need it.
Yeah, I'm going to make Chris read the charging document.
Yeah, I will. I promise. I feel like the student getting scolded, but we are going to go to Sarah Boone's trial. Jules will be in the courtroom. I will be in the pool with the reporters, the news media, and I will be streaming it using a certain person's equipment. So I'm not going to divulge who that is just yet. Next week, I will. Next Wednesday, I will divulge. So you have to tune in next week. How's that for a teaser?
Yes.
Anyway, but we will be there.
We can give more detail on, everything that's going to be going on.
Yeah.
During that time.
So we will be there.
I just hope, in all honesty, I hope I can make it through the trial, through the entire trial tonight. Just so you know, I start my first oral chemo tonight when we're done with this live stream. And the first week is usually rough for me, but then I'll be okay. But I will get tired easily, but we'll see what happens. Ada K has a great question.
Well, thank you, Ada. Before I get to that, Jules, we will be here to pick you up and support you. You know that.
I know.
Every step of the way.
I know.
All right. Ada, can you believe the request for makeup and hairdresser? Yeah. Do you think they will comply? Good question, Jules.
No.
Okay.
She can buy makeup with her commissary fund. They sell the bare basics, and your cellmates and people, if they know you're going to court, they are not going to provide her with a hairdresser and a makeup.
Okay,
artist.
So that's
absolutely not.
Okay, out. Therapist, thank you. They better not let her get a glam squad. I will flip tables. Well, you and probably a lot of other people. Oh my goodness, yeah. Well, she can ask, right? It's her right to ask. She can ask for anything, and it's up to Judge.
Well, listen, did you not get the feeling that Mr. Owen was a little embarrassed by asking that?
I'm not sure I felt he was embarrassed about asking anything. He was like right there with Kranick. I'm really looking forward to those two during trial, because they were having some moments, and this was just motions hearings. Alice, thank you.
Yeah,
Prayers,
but I think he was, to me, I got the feeling he was a little embarrassed by that, because look at what Judge Kranick told him. Put it in a motion.
Yeah. Oh, Ronnie, sending you so much love and prayers. Yeah. Thank you, Ronnie. Appreciate that. Thank you. We love our Jules. QB Designs, she should talk to Lori on how to make Kool-Aid lipstick.
That's right. Oh my God, I forgot about that.
Yeah, let's talk about that.
Lori Vallow.
Yeah.
She made lipstick by using Kool-Aid packets, and if correct me, QB, if I'm wrong, but if I'm not mistaken, she used Vaseline and Kool-Aid.
That would make it stick, right? Because Kool-Aid's not just going to stick; it'll, filter off or cake off or whatever it does. But the grease or whatever, coconut oil will make it stick. Yeah. Yep. Yes, ma'am. QB says yes, ma'am. Oh, okay. Yeah. Todd Hudat. Oh, there's Therapist. We'll get to our super chats in a bit. Thank you, though. Thank you, everybody. Miss Florida, Sarah Boone. Yeah. Trial Junkies United. I think Boonie's days are over getting what she wants. The judge doesn't have to deal with her directly.
Nope.
Yeah.
Some people, I think Judge Kranick was. I knew it. A lot of people were saying when Owen came on that Judge Kranick wasn't going to allow it. I knew he was going to say yes, because that takes him off the hook for having to deal with her directly. So Trial Junkies is right.
True. Oh, Ada K. We have a poll going. Will she get high heels or flats? LOL. I know the answer. Well, she is tiny, right? She's like 5'2" or 5'3". So yeah, I'll go with heels. But I'm a guy, so
No,
don't take my word.
they're not gonna let her have heels. I doubt it. Or if they do, it's gonna be A to K. It'll be, what do you call those the chunky heels? They're not gonna let her have spike heels. I can tell you that right now. No way.
Yeah, no, that could be a weapon, you know.
Yeah.
Heels are weapons. Thank you. There you go, Trial Junkies United. Yes, heels are weapons. Let's see. I had a question. It slipped out of my mind. Let me just think about this for a second. All right, it'll come back if it's important. What other questions do we have?
Don't forget she snuck staples in her jailhouse uniform there into her cell. So she can't be trusted.
Right. Todd, who dat Clement? Cheers, y'all. My first live with you. Well, Todd, it's our first live too. So we're all V's in that. I don't know if I can say that on YouTube, but yes, thank you, Todd, for joining us. Appreciate it, man. QB Designs, not the kitten heels. Is that a thing? I'll toss that back to the females in the chat. OnlyFan, heels will be a weapon for her. Yep, absolutely. That's a common one. Yep. That would absolutely be a weapon for her. Stilettos? Yeah, no way.
Yeah, that's right. Did Aaron whisper that in your ear?
No, I have.
No, come on. Ooh, spill the dirt, Chris.
Slowly but surely, you will get to know me. Therapist, unless she uses Kool-Aid to stain the bottom of her shoes, but not real red bottoms. Oh, there it is. Yes, Kool-Aid. How do you get your hands on Kool-Aid? I guess from the commissary. Is that a common thing in the commissary? Is Kool-Aid? Yeah. Sneaky side. Yeah, kitten heels are definitely a thing. Plus, you can't maim people with them. All right, what are kitten heels? Do I have to Google them?
I don't know. I have to Google. I haven't worn heels in years. So, I mean, years.
Well, you do that. Rosebud, her mouth is the biggest weapon for this trial delays. Yes. Oh, that reminds me. That was my question. Thank you, Rosebud. So tomorrow.
Okay, I know where they are now.
Okay. Well, we'll get back to that. Hold that thought. I want to get this out because this is big. So tomorrow, well, what was tomorrow, which is now going to be Friday's hearing, Kranig was supposed to rule on that we're actually going to trial without a continuance, correct? That was going to be this final trial before the final
status hearing. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's still listed. Their Zoom thing is still listed as a status hearing. I don't think he's going to delay it. I really don't.
Yeah. So that's huge. I mean, that is huge because we will know, we have our hotels and we're ready to go, and it could get kicked. Yeah, it won't get kicked down the road. We don't want it to
next week.
Oh yeah, sorry. Okay, Pilola's mom. I think jurors should be given $10. They go to Goodwill and pick out an outfit for Sarah. Dress Sarah. How would you dress Sarah? OnlyFan, pick your battles, Chris. We do not need to know what kitten heels are. I'm going to Google it after this. I'm going to Google it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Let's get back to it. Did you Google it? What?
I did. They're the short little, like the heel is only like that big.
Okay,
and it's
so
like
Julie,
a square, chunky.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Julie, I don't even know what kitten heels are, and I rocked in the late 70s and 80s. So is it a 70s, 80s, 70s thing? 80? What's?
I don't know what year you would 90s, consider it.
60s? They are barely a heel, the kitten heel.
I haven't worn heels in years because if I did, listen, I'm at that age where if I fall, I could break a hip and be all over for me.
Yeah, no, we don't need that. Therapists, all the pairs of Louboutins I've owned are at least 5 inches or 5 feet tall. Oh, are 5 inches tall, far from kitten heels.
It must, I listen, therapists, really Louis Vuittons, seriously? I want to know, is your handle what you do for a living?
Yes.
Because maybe I should have been a therapist because I didn't know therapists made that kind of money that they could buy Louis Vuittons. Just saying.
Good point. Therapist, is going for her master's. Correct me if I'm wrong, right? Wow. You're going for your master's even as we speak. So she's been letting us in on that while she's been going through that. Trial Junkies United. Jules, I hear you I hear you on the falling. Last time I'm sorry. Last time I did broke my ankle on both sides. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, that's my biggest fear is falling and breaking something.
Yeah. Got to be careful. Got to be careful. QB Designs, we'll be discussing kitten heels on their bingo card. Bingo. Good one.
Oh my God.
That's funny. Oh, therapist. Girl, I have never paid for Louis Vuittons.
Thank you.
Thank you. Louis Vuitton. Oh, Christian, not Louis Vuittons, but I got corrected.
They're the shoes that have the red bottom.
Oh, I know that. Yeah, Louis Vuittons, not Louis. Well, I'm going to call them Louis Vuittons, but Louis Vuittons. Thank you.
And me and you, we need to find a, never mind.
Fashion stylist, therapist.
No.
Then you have a great husband if he's paying paying.
Yes,
good for you.
does.
Hang on to it. Hang on to it.
Here's to her husband.
And we know what he does, right? Thanks to
I don't.
Well, there was a gas explosion outside of Houston, and therapist husband is part of emergency management or something along those lines. And again, correct me if I'm wrong with that, but she divulged a little bit of that. But he did not have to go to that.
I'd never trust a
Never
celebrity
tested
therapist who makes it known publicly that they are like Dr. Drew.
Oh, well, I was thinking Ruth.
Or Dr. Phil.
Dr. Ruth. I saw, funny story, when I was in New York City, I saw Dr. Ruth walking down some side street, 57th between 5th and Madison. And I'm like, oh, I know who you are. And she is she was like 4 foot tall. And she was by herself. No entourage, no manager, no security. She's Dr. Ruth. And I'm like, I bit my tongue. I wasn't going to say anything.
She was a real hoot. God rest her soul. I'll tell you what, when she first came on the scene, like publicly talking, like on shows and stuff, I would be sitting there going, oh my God. I cannot. But now it's like, yeah, you go, you know?
Totally. Yeah,
but
absolutely.
She opened up the whole world.
Yep.
She was especially good for women, I think, because us women, well, I won't speak for all women, but I'll speak for me. Back in the day, you didn't talk about that stuff. It just, you weren't. Sex was something you had to do, not something you wanted to do. Yeah. I mean, that's what I was raised up to believe. She opened up a whole new world for everybody that is from my generation and back.
Sure.
And she did.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. Kudos to her. There was a question that popped up that I don't think we saw. I don't know if you can go back to that or not. I'm sorry if we missed that question right before therapist, but I'm sorry if we missed that question. I saw it pop up, but I don't. It's okay. I'm sorry. All right. Do we have any other?
Whoever asked a question in the chat and it didn't get answered, please put your question back in the chat so Aaron can grab it.
Yeah. Julie loved Dr. Ruth. She was it Dr. Joyce Brothers too? Was she on?
Dr. Joyce. Now that's my generation, Dr. Joyce Brothers. Yes, but she was no Dr. Ruth. No,
she wasn't. But didn't she talk about, how about the Shore Life Creations? I'll ask again. Sarah wants skirts. Will she still be allowed to wear the ankle thing instead of chains?
No.
Or how about a garter? I think that was kind of kicked around in the chat.
Oh, Jesus.
We go sideways often, Jules. our chat goes sideways often.
If she wears a skirt, she's going to have the ankle monitor on because she's not going to want anybody to see her in shackles. And she's going to be in shackles.
Right. Oh, the Toby Madden. Yesterday, are you familiar with that case from Ohio? Toby Madden. He unalived his girlfriend of 27 years 55 times.
Oh, the one that was doing this?
He did a whole Chucky thing.
Oh, yeah, no, I'm not. I'm aware of it, but I am not following it.
Yeah, he tried to go pro se twice. Judge denied him both times. He's had outbursts. He's thrown up in court. He's crying. He's yelling at the gallery. He's a hot mess. Anyway, Oh, I lost my train of thought. What was I going to say? Oh, I saw this thing. He has a dress shirt on, and there was like on his back the other day. I'm like, what is that? What's like by his shoulder blades? I'm like, what is that? And then today somebody in chat said, what is he wearing? I'm like, I saw that the other day, and we think he has some kind of shock belt thing underneath.
Oh,
Yeah.
he probably does. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like that other Looney Tune had on.
Daryl?
What's her face? Shabazz, whatever her name
Oh,
was.
yeah.
Yeah,
Shabizz-
Aaron, you know who I'm talking about.
Shabusiness,
Yeah, the
right?
one that, yeah, her.
Business. Come on, business. What's your business? So I don't know if Sarah's going to go with that or not, but Joan says she was fighting for a skirt, so she didn't have an ankle monitor. Okay, thank you, Joan, for that. Parkan, I hope I pronounced your last name correctly. But oh, I like your little Lego. That's fun. That's cute. Your little meme there, your little profile picture. Yeah, yeah. Well, we're going to be there, as we've said before, and I'm going to be in the press pool, which I have mixed feelings about that. I'm really excited about it. I'm really happy I'm doing that. But I want to be in the with the jury. I want to be sitting next to you, Jules. First of all, I want to
sit next to me?
I want to sit next to you. I'm going to hold your hand the whole way because this is my first trial. I'm going to be like, what do we do? Do we get there at 3:00 in the morning? Because people are going to be lined up. It's going to be like Depp and Bird.
I don't know, because I thought it was going to be like that for Maya, and it really wasn't. Curtis Reeves, I thought the only one that you had to get there super uber early was when Casey Anthony was on trial.
Yeah.
And that's why I was only able to attend 5 days. And it wasn't 5 consecutive days either. It was hit and miss because there were lines outside of Pinellas County Courthouse to get in there. And, and they did have an overflow room too, but even the overflow room got overflowed. So I was only able to attend 5 days. But Ashley Benefield, there was no problem. I would say the first day that we're there, they open the courthouse at 8. They unlock the doors at 8. I would say the first day we should get there early to scope out the situation.
Yeah. And I have equipment to set up. It's not going to take long, but I need to have 10 minutes to find the press room, find my way through and get set up. So that first day or two is going to be bumpy, if you will. But after that, I should be okay. So
yeah. And
so Sneaky, I also send love to Julie.
We should get there. I think, I'm going to drive up to, we'll save it for next Wednesday.
Okay.
What does that one say? You guys are going to be the best to it. I hope so.
Adventures of Jules and Squeegee. I love it.
Just listen, we're depending on you guys. We're depending on you to watch. We're depending on you to share this channel out. Chris and Aaron need to build this up.
Thank you. Yes. Baby steps. We're getting there.
We're getting there. I'm hoping that Sarah Boone is going to put you over. No, I have been enthralled, especially Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. Bree Kuhn up in Pensacola.
Okay.
Who in 22, I think it was September of 22, she unalived her husband, and she was claiming self-defense and battered spouse syndrome. I could tell you this right now. I wish I was up there for that.
We feel that toxic orchid. I'm sorry.
Asked about that.
Yeah, toxic orchid. Sorry, I said orchard. Orchid asked about that. There is, well, Stearns has a hearing in October, but I will not be able to go to that. I will definitely go to his trial if he gets to trial. I think OnlyFan, we're not quite sure. We were talking about that today in the chat. We're not sure if he's going to get to trial or not. Ada, we will be using your
Ada,
Thank you.
that's so
Thank you, Ada.
wonderful.
Thank you. Appreciate that. Oh, and by the way, I will be, I will have the capacity to chat when I'm there because I'm going to be in the press pool. I can't wait. I will be, basically all I have to do is plug the equipment in and then just monitor it. But I will be chatting, full on chatting.
I'm going to see if this courtroom will let me live tweet out.
Mhm.
At Ashley Benefield, they let me live tweet out.
Mhm.
And during Maya's, they would not let me live tweet out. So I
Yeah.
was doing my TikTok videos, which have
Okay.
gone through to the wayside there. So I'm hoping I will be allowed to see. I don't have a media pass yet. In order for me to get a media pass, I need, and there's no way I'm going to ever get there. I need 15,000 subs either on my Twitter account or my TikTok account. And on my TikTok, I've got 4,000, and on my Twitter, I only have 1,500. So there's just absolutely no way. But if I had 4,000 subs, and this would go for you too, Chris, if you have 4,000 subs, you could apply for a media pass, which would allow you to do practically anything.
Right. Well, everybody in the chat right now,
yeah.
please go and sub at Jules. Do you want to tell us your handles so we can go sub over there, Jules?
They already know it. They know it. I'm Notorious Jules on Twitter, and it's the same thing on TikTok. It's Notorious Jules.
Well, just in case there's somebody out there that doesn't. But two things. Let me get the QB Designs. We'll be using your live for sure. Thank you. We appreciate that. I will have a press pass, but it will be through another media source. Therapist,
Say
I don't
next
know anything. What is Jules' channel's name? See, Jules, there are people out there that.
All right, it's hold on
Therapist,
Twitter.
is too busy in your master's class. I get it. We're not going to hold your feet to the fire. Oh, there it is. QB Designs. I only stalk Jules on X. Yeah, in between the half-hour sleep you get. Oh, there it is. Notorious Jules.
That's the Twitter.
There, QB Designs has it up at Notorious Jules. Is that?
Wait, is that QB? Is that my TikTok? I don't see people know.
I don't even know.
Oh yes. Okay, my TikTok is at notorious_Jules is my TikTok, and then X is at blind_faith1423. But I think if you put Notorious Jules in there, it might pull that up too.
Jules, you do not have a YouTube channel, correct?
No, God, no.
Yeah, no. Yeah.
Sorry.
I think that's your Twitter. QB says, I think that's your Twitter.
Yeah, I have a Twitter and a TikTok, but in January, I think it was January is when I stopped doing my videos on TikTok right after, or maybe it was shortly after Maya's trial, because there was just a lot of Reddit crap that was going on and I just didn't want to deal with it. So I stopped doing it, but I did do a couple of videos where they're not all that great because my editing really sucks. But on Labor Day weekend, I participated. I don't know, Chris, if you and Aaron were aware, but I participated in a standout for Karen Reed up in Bradenton.
Yes. We actually saw it, or we watched it as well. Yes.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yep.
So,
Yeah.
so you saw me take that flying leap?
Well,
I was so scared. Yeah, I fell. Yeah, guys, I fell live on TikTok. I fell.
But you fell gracefully.
Yeah, right. Sure.
All right. Do we have any more questions?
The first responder there.
Wait, what's that? I didn't. What'd you say?
I said, thank God there was a first responder there.
Yes, yes. Oh, there we go. Jules on X and Twitter. I'm going to always say Twitter. And Jules. Oh, wait. Jules on X, Jules on Twitter. Isn't that the same?
No, that's the first one. The
That's the same
first
thing.
one is TikTok, and the second one she has right.
Yeah,
Sorry.
yeah,
My bad.
yeah. They're both the same. It's okay. So the first one. Oh, Christine, thank you. Miss Wildside is following you on X. Awesome.
Thank you, appreciate you.
All right, Jules. I think we're going to let you go. What do you think? Do you have anything in closing or?
I'm good. No, I'm good. I do want to give a shout out to my kiddo because he's two things. He
Okay.
really surprised me today. The
Okay.
first thing is he's up in Hillsborough County, and the last 3 days he's been literally working around the clock, where he's got 4 shelters, pet friendly shelters, open and ready to go. And starting tonight, I don't know which shelter he's going to be in, but he will be in one of the shelters monitoring who's coming in and making sure everybody is safe and comfortable and, you know, all of that jazz. So I'm very proud of my son, Michael, for that.
Nice.
But what he really surprised me with is today.
Yes.
Thank you, Michael, because I know you're watching. Florida cancer specialist, he paid my bill.
Oh, wow.
My son
paid.
That's those cancer, those chemotherapy treatments I had. My son paid my out of pocket for me.
Thank you. That's great.
And
that's
so
wonderful. Good for him.
So there you have it. So tonight I start on the Gleevec.
Okay.
So I start on that, and we'll see. We'll see. It'll be for 90 days, every day for 90 days, and then they will schedule me for a scan. So, positive thoughts and prayers coming my way. I would greatly appreciate it.
Absolutely, 100%. Everybody in the chat. Let's see hearts for Jules in the chat. Let's give Jules some hearts. I give that.
Yes.
Hearts.
Joan, I do have a very special son, but I don't want to leave out my other 2. I have 2 other sons. My oldest and my youngest are up in New Jersey, and they help me out as much as they can. But they're not here, and Michael is here. So Michael has been, really, really very supportive. So yeah.
So lots of hearts for you, Jules. We love you. You are the best.
I love you guys too. I love Ada. Ada always was so welcoming to me. I can't wait to get on to one of her lives again. You better invite me soon, woman.
And a little side to that, Ada is going to be our second guest. So after next week, Sarah kind of course, just threw a wrench into everything. So initially I was thinking of Jules having you on first and then having Ada on second. So Ada, I know you are out there watching, and we talked via email. I would be happy and honored to have you on as well. So I'm looking forward to that. That being said, in my email, I said it would be after Sarah, and now you kind of realize, because I'm going to be live streaming from there, so I won't necessarily have a chance. But go ahead, Jules.
But
we could bring Ada in. Okay, you know the technology better than I do. I don't know what I'm doing.
You see how you brought me in? You could bring Ada in right now.
We could.
All Aaron has to do is email Ada the link, and she could pop right in.
We could. Well, we're going to do that. Let's do that during Sarah. We'll do that during Sarah. All right, Ada. We know you want to be on. And
now and next week, we'll be talking about fine tuning everything that we're gonna do while we're in Orlando.
Correct. Yes.
Um,
Yep. Yeah. Yeah. All right. Cool. All right. I'm going to let you go. Chat, don't go anywhere because I just have a few other things to talk about. But we're going to let
It
you
was
go.
so lovely seeing everyone. Everyone have a
Thank-
lovely night. We'll be chatting. You know where to find me and stuff. Chris, thank you so much.
Oh,
You're a lovely host. And yes, the ghost in the background, Aaron, I love you, girl.
she's the Wizard of Oz.
Yeah.
She's
But
throwing-
anyway, thank you so very much
thank
to
you,
everyone. Thank you for having me. Jules out. I'm leaving the studio.
Jules.
Bye.
Jules, thank you. Thank you for being here. Oh, and she's gone. Oh, well, Jules, thank you. I can't express enough, who you are and what you are to us and the community. You are absolutely, just a gem. Jules, you are a jewel. So chat, yeah, I want to just let you know, next week we are going to be launching our memberships. So if you like what you see, we will talk more about it. There will be an opportunity for you to join us as special guests. I've kind of let that go in the chat, but I'll have more details about that next week. We'll have different levels of membership, and you can actually join your fellow members and chatters, and we can just sit around and shoot can I say it yet? Has it been over an hour? I still can't say it. Anyway, we'll just shoot some, and we'll have some fun. So until next week, thank you for being here. Oh my goodness, I am so sorry. Yes, super stickers. Thank you. Julie, thank you for the 10. Appreciate that. Love you, Jules. Thank you, Trial TV Live. Thank you, Julie. Ada K, $3 super sticker. Thank you so much, Ada. Thank you. That means so much to us. Thank you. QB Designs, $4.99. So happy for y'all. You're doing great things. Stay safe. Thank you. We will. I will be posting on YouTube, shorts. I did a short today of the first feeder band. Also, I'll try and put it on Facebook as well. And I don't know if I'll do Twitter, but definitely YouTube. I'll be posting. And also, P. Lola's mom, thank you. $1.99. We need a proof of life of Aaron. Trust me, she does exist. She is here. Trust me. Sneaky Side, $5 Canadian. Pilot guest was fabulous. Thank you. Sorry I was late. Oh, no worries. Sending love, Jules. Also love to Chris and Aaron. I don't want you to feel left out. Thank you, Jules. Thank you too, Jules. Thank you, Sneaky Side, for that. And that's it. Thank you. Thank you. Oh, and Super Bowl. Oh, there's our little kitty. Kitty. So that's Super Bowl. That's the old. She's a feral cat. She's the oldest. She turned 5 in April. Yeah, April. We're not 100% sure when she was born, but we think it was April. And I think earlier, if you were watching and you caught it, the ginger walked by. That's Rafa. He's our little guy that found us here. So anyway, guys, thank you so much. Really appreciate you all. We will be streaming tomorrow. Helene is coming in. It's going to hit us late Thursday, maybe like 9, 10 o'clock, they're thinking. It may have changed, since last time I checked, but the thought is it's going to hit us 9 or 10 o'clock. So we will be streaming all day tomorrow. We're going to be doing Toby Madden. And what else is on? We were going to do Sarah, but Sarah's not on. So I guess just Toby. So we're just going to do Toby tomorrow. Oh, and we moved the Benjamin case that we just picked up. We're going to move that day 2 to Friday, day 3 to Saturday. So anyway, we'll talk about that tomorrow. But just so you know, we will be streaming tomorrow. If we have internet and if we have electricity, we'll be streaming. So thank you all for joining us. Love you all. You guys are the best. I know everybody says that, but our chat really is the best. We really appreciate each and every one of you. So be kind to each other, love each other, don't break bad, and let's leave this place a better place. Good night.